I, 36F, have been married to my husband, 57M, for 2 wonderful years. I have a son from a previous relationship, Noah, 18 meters, and he has a daughter from his previous marriage, Grace, 17F. My husband considers Noah his son and is in all but his name. Noah is an amazing student, high GPA, plays basketball and football, volunteers for charity, and is an all-around great person. Noah has recently received a likely letter from his dream school, and we are all ecstatic about it. My husband and I started talking about finances and how we are going to contribute towards tuition fees. I was a single mom until I got married, so I haven't got much saved, but my husband has mentioned the fund he's been collecting for college since his daughter was born. Now here's the part that I'm asking if I'm the idiot for, but please read the rest of this post before making judgments. I will explain myself. I asked my husband if we could use the money for Noah. It's enough for all 4 years of his degree. He said no in the beginning, but I explained that while I love Grace, she isn't very academically inclined. Average GPA, no extracurriculars, and has even said that she's going to the community college close by for the first 2 years. Plus, she's a junior. We have a whole year to start building up another college fund for her. My husband is still on the fence, but at least he's not sticking with no. He wanted to talk to his daughter first and reiterate what I said above. It did not go well. He said there was screaming involved and included her calling my son and I names that I will not be repeating here. Accusing him of cheating on her mother, which is completely false, and she knows it. We met 3 years ago, 7 months after his divorce. I've been getting a barrage of texts and voicemails from his ex-wife's side of the family, calling me all sorts of names. My husband is disgusted with his daughter's words and actions and is pretty upset and down right now. I feel like I've caused this, but my mother, sister, and aunt are telling me that I did the right thing, that my son deserves that money. I heard about this sub and wanted to get an unbiased opinion. Am I the idiot for asking my husband to pay for our son's tuition? I was asked by mods to say why I believe I may be the arsehole. Because all of his daughters and ex-wives' family is saying that I am, and I can see how upset my husband is. I can't help but think I may have caused it. You're the idiot. Whichever way you look at it, you're the idiot. And anyone who tells you differently, aka your side of the family, is in a hole too. That's Grace's fund, not your son's. Quit it with the entitlement. And if your son is as academically and athletically gifted as you say he is, then he should be able to get some scholarships. Getting a part-time job is also an option, as is getting financial aid. Your lack of planning and saving is on you. Grace shouldn't have to pay for it. Being a single mother is no excuse. My God, OP, your blatant disregard for his daughter, as you put it, is vile. You and your family, who agree with you, should get money together for your beloved son and leave Grace alone. Grace must feel like total Shastrisk, feeling abandoned and cast aside. You're acting like the evil stepmother in a fairy tale. Story Hub. Just over 2 years ago, of 29, unexpectedly got pregnant, and now have a beautiful 18-month-old daughter, Sarah. Over that time, my friend's circle got considerably smaller, but my best friend, Maya, a 31, remained. Mia doesn't have kids, nor wants kids, but she's been brilliant with Sierra. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and obviously don't have as much time to hang out as I did previously. Mia and I live on the same street. We're in Manchester, England, and it's a walking distance between our houses. I've told Mia numerous times that she can just pop in whenever she wants to. She works from home, but she rarely does. She did at the beginning, but it's been happening less and less. Instead, she keeps suggesting we go out for coffee or pizza, or even a drink, but I don't have the time and always just tell her to come over, and we'll have coffee at my place. She asked if I wanted to go out with her and her other friends for a drink last weekend, but I said no, but she's welcome to come over, and we'll have a few drinks at mine. She said she already had plans and it felt weird to drink when she knows there's a child around. Honestly, I feel neglected. I feel like she put me on a back burner and doesn't want to be friends anymore. I'm always available, but she rarely comes over, and I don't think that's fair. Today, I saw her photos from Saturday night out, and I was fuming. She ditched me just so she could go and drink like she's 20 again. I felt rejected and horrible. I thought we were best friends, but she clearly doesn't value me when she won't even have a few drinks with me at my house. When she finished work, she called and asked if I fancied going for coffee to town, but I asked her to come over again. She said yes, but before she disconnected, I heard her mumble like always. This really annoyed me. When she came over, I decided to be open about everything. And while not my proudest or most mature moment, I shouted at her that she's an awful friend, that she barely comes over, and if she doesn't want to spend time with me to just say it and stop playing around. She said she's always been accommodating, but it's been 2 years, and she doesn't want to spend time with me when there's always a kid, especially now when she has to watch her language. Mia likes to swear. I said that she knew I had a child and responsibilities, and she said that Tom, my partner, could take care of Sarah once in a while so I could have a time off. This felt really intrusive, and I told her to mind her own business and not meddle on my marriage. I was really angry with her and kicked her out. She called me a selfish asshole on her way out. Normally, I would expect her to call by now with apologies, but she hasn't done so. And I'm starting to wonder, was I the asshole or was she? Perhaps I was too harsh and should have been more careful with discussing it. You're the idiot. She didn't ditch you. She asked you to go out with her friends as she'd made plans. She's not drinking like she's 20. She's drinking like someone who doesn't have a child. P.S. She's right. Your partner can look after your daughter once in a while, and should do, to try and bond with her. You're the idiot. You're always expecting her to accommodate you because you have a child. She's been coming over to your house for over a year because she understands your life has changed. You're putting in very little effort and assuming that it's on her to maintain the friendship and compromise. Why? Because you're a mom? She didn't ditch you. You've been a shitty friend for a while, and she's probably done with you. If you're enjoying the video, drop a like. As a graduation present for my niece, my sister, and brother-in-law, let her choose where they spend their 2-week annual holidays, and my niece chose Courchevel, France. As my sister has connections with a swanky hotel there, she invited my wife and I, as well as a few other family members, to join them on this trip, all expenses paid. The concierge has been booking activities and restaurants for ages. This was in February, so the trip was about 11 months away, and at that time, my wife got pregnant. The problem is my wife loves all winter sports and activities, but in her condition, she cannot participate in 2/3 of what was organized. My sister said it's fine. The hotel has 2 floors of spa and wellness facilities, and there's plenty to do outside of physical activities in the area, which some other family will be doing anyway, and we can always ask the concierge for appropriate experiences. This won't work as my wife doesn't like being left out, and winter really is her favorite season, and we can't afford a trip like this ourselves. It's really upsetting that she won't be part of the group to go mushing or skiing or fat biking, and she'd have to see photos or hear about it later. I've asked my sister if we can't postpone the trip, but she said that's out of the question as my niece goes to college in February and so much time and money went into this trip already. Maybe we could go somewhere warm where my wife won't feel as bad for not participating in water activities, but my sister said this wasn't a decision for us to make. We're just guests. We just come to a standstill where I called her selfish and inconsiderate, and she said that's hypocritical since I want to change 8 people's plans due to my family planning. She told our parents about our talk, and they called and told me to prepare my wife and I for being unable to attend or do many things in the upcoming years. Parenting means putting your own wishes aside. They told us to be glad for the trip we'll have even if we can't do everything as planned. We'll need to learn to be flexible soon anyway. But I feel like that's beyond the point. This trip was organized to make everyone happy, and now my wife will be excluded from most of it, if it just feels really unfair to her, especially when this can all be scheduled for next NY or something. You're the idiot. The plans are made. Things are booked, and this is a special trip for your niece. There are things for your wife to do. She may not be deliriously happy every moment of the trip, but that's life. The world doesn't need to bend over backwards because someone got pregnant. You're the idiot. It's a painfully generous gift already, and you want a DFFER and free vacation present because your wife doesn't like that being pregnant limits her mobility. Yeah, tough shit. That's what pregnancy is like. An all-expense paid spa babbingman in France sounds awesome. You two are being massive idiots. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I, 31, have about 67K debt between college, my car, and a little bit on my credit card. I've been making my monthly payments on all of them, but it will still be many decades before I'm debt-free. My fiancé, 29, is relatively debt-free. This wasn't always the case. She got a few scholarships to help with college, but did still have to take out a few loans to finish things up. She had to get a new car because the old one was cursed and was in more accidents while parked than we can count. And she did go through a manic period and almost ran up her credit card in her early 20s shopping so much. However, she spent a lot of time getting her finances in order, worked multiple side gigs on top of her normal job, which I commend her for, and now is debt-free except for her mortgage, which she makes a ton of extra payments towards, and has almost 300K in investments, savings, etc. I'm very proud of her for everything she's done. Now that we're engaged, we're planning on moving in together. She had a roommate we had to wait for the lease to end on before I could move in, and she said before the wedding she wanted me to be debt-free. We chose a date 3 years from now, since some of our family is out of the country and needs to save, and so it will be on our 7th anniversary, both of our favorite numbers. She pulled out a spreadsheet of my debts and pointed out how if I put all of my paychecks, minus maybe $200 a month for fun money, into paying off my debt, I'll be debt-free by the wedding. She would cover everything else, the mortgage, food, bills, insurance, our pets, vacations, date nights, etc. We could then both aggressively save for that last bit of time for a nice honeymoon, and after that focus a good amount of our funds on taking out the mortgage and getting my own savings up to snuff. I thought about it for a day or so and came back with this counteroffer. She pays off my debts and I pay her back in a year and a half, since I wouldn't also have to be paying interest. We would put a bigger dent in the mortgage and still stick to the timeline. She seemed unhappy with this and said she would have to think about it first. I casually mentioned it to my friends over beer to get another perspective, and they said I'm the asshole, and they would do anything have her 2-year offer to get debt-free, and that even if I paid her back, I'd still be taking a 1/5 of her savings for a year and a half. So I'm here for judgment. Am I the asshole? You're the idiot. You're an entitled idiot for not accepting her very generous offer and expecting her to do even more. Your counteroffer is laughable, and she would be an idiot if she agreed to it. Your fiancé agreed to cover all your expenses for 3 years to help you pay off debt. I'd express my sincerest thanks and get ready to start your life together. You're the idiot. Story Hub.